Hey, hi, hello. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and the sun went away. What the frick? Well, anyway, it's not lighting my whole face, but part is just gonna have to be in the darkness. We are back for another installment of whatever I'm calling this. I still don't have a name for my currently reading, watching, listening. So I finally have updates because I finally finished a book. Actually, I finished 3. So, reading. I finished The Mask of Mirrors. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. We had a discussion on Patreon. Angela and Heather joined me, and Ray, and they love it. Angela and Heather love it. Ray and I were like, here's the thing. It's a long book, and I don't think it wouldn't have kept me locked in enough for a hate read. It wasn't a hate read. I think it's like a perfectly fine 3-star. There was just too much. A main thing was, Angela was like, if you didn't love it after chapter 3, then you weren't going to love it. I did not. My biggest thing that kind of ruined everything for me is I did not connect with the main character, Rin. I just didn't find her compelling. So then I didn't really care what happened to her. I wasn't rooting for her and I wasn't rooting against her. I just was like, she's there. I think a lot of the characters who are around her were a lot more interesting, and that kept me wanting to read it, but her didn't enjoy it. Also, not one I would necessarily recommend you just listen to the audiobook for, but everybody's different. I started out with the ebook, then got the audio because I kept falling asleep when I was reading the ebook. I might have fallen asleep while listening to the audio. Just like 20 minutes. But that was another thing with I didn't love all the accents done in the book. That's a very minor thing. But the chapters are so long. They're like 40 fucking minute long chapters. And there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of names, a lot of, it's fantasy. So a lot of proper nouns and different names for things. And so at some points I would be like, I would just text Ray. I'd be like, who is this? And what is this? And I really kind of was just like bopping along. And then it gets interesting. Something happens around 50%. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I thought this was really going to be a big turnaround point. It wasn't. Like, it was fine. Some things happen. But it just was never enough for me to really be really caring for the main person in this story. And though we do get some resolution, some answers to some things, there are more that are obviously going to be explained in the second and third book, but I didn't care enough to read another one. That's 2 more 600 something page books. No, thank you. I also, what was the other thing? I also didn't love the magic in this. Like, it was there, but I was like, okay, I don't know. Sometimes I really love a hard magic system. And sometimes I do like a soft magic system, that kind of magic just kind of exists. There's not necessarily a lot of rules. This one just was like, it was there. And I was like, okay, I guess that's magical. There was just nothing, everything about it was fine. I thought the world building was fine. The character work was fine. The pacing, not fine, actually. And we discussed this in the live show, and I think it really matters with how you get on with the book early on. Because if you become really invested early on and really care about it, you're not going to notice so much bloat to the story, like all of the extra that I felt could have been trimmed out. But since I wasn't super hooked in the beginning, it just felt like we were really dragging it out. But of course, if you're already loving the story, you're going to want more, and that's not going to feel like bloat to you. But to me, it felt like there was so much extra and so much just like descriptions about clothes and just makeup and changing and just little things where I'm like, okay, this makes sense maybe the first couple times, but do we have to go through it and talk about it every single time it happens? So while at the end you are like, oh, it wasn't enough for me to continue. I asked a couple questions to get answers to some things, and that's enough for me. And I do wish that I could have loved it. I would love to join in the hype with them. I also love how floppy the paperback is. but it just wasn't for me. One day, me and Angela are going to love this, another book the same. That day was not today or when I finished The Mask of Mirrors, but I did finish it. I also finished Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. And I don't know what is coming out first. I think that review may already be out first. If it is and you haven't watched it, I'll link it. If it's not, then it's coming out this week. I got to see what I edit. So I won't spend too much time on it here. TLDR, I hated it. I just thought it was poorly written and it really didn't need to be written, and just disappointed. I really thought her memoir was well done, but this as her first fiction novel. And also, I wish she would not narrate a fiction novel ever again. Narrating her memoir made sense. Narrating the fiction novel. So if you'd like all my thoughts, please watch that video. I'm pretty sure it's already out. Again, it'll be linked or down below. I'm pointing as if, okay. And then lastly, that I've read, Crueltyfree. Is that what it's called? Hold on. Yes, Crueltyfree by Caroline Glenn. I was browsing NetGalley and I saw this. I thought the cover was really interesting. Anytime there's like a really funky cover, especially with a woman on it, I'm always like, it's going to be unhinged woman. I'm always looking for that. So, do they say this is a horror? It's more, okay. I also want to read more horror this year so I can really find out what I like. This is horror thriller. So we're going to go with that. But this, I thought that I had read the synopsis on NetGalley, but I didn't remember before I started what this was about. I just know that I was looking at it and I had put it on my list and I had told Robin and she was like, ooh, I'm really interested in this one. Then I saw it was on Libro FM. So thank you so much, Libro FM. I got the audiobook and I was like, oh, let me listen to this. I thought it was a great audiobook. And so it starts out and I'm like, what is going on? Because we start out with this woman who 10 years ago was like at the top of her game in Hollywood, one of the biggest actresses, married to a very popular actor. They had a baby, but then the baby went missing. Their marriage fell apart. Fast forward, we're 10 years. So the book, we're getting her point of view, present day, but then also there's this book being written basically about her case, and we're getting excerpts of that. And so I'm like, okay, are we going back? Like, what I was thinking was going to happen didn't. And at first I was like, okay, like it reads pretty quickly. The chapters aren't super long. I like the narrator and we're kind of just going along, kind of her coming back to Hollywood, she wants to start a skincare brand. And, you know, she's been off and out of the limelight for 10 years and she wants to come back. And obviously this was a big story. There are a lot of people who thought she had something to do with it and were blaming her. And it's her trying to, you know, really reclaim space, reclaim her life back in Hollywood. And there's all these different obstacles. But then it goes off the rails. For the story, we were like doing this and then it goes, I was like, No, it's not funny, is it? It's very serious. I can't say much without giving much away. And I think I also enjoyed this more because I didn't read the synopsis. Like I went back to read the synopsis. I was like, oh, I don't remember reading that. So this is a story about somebody trying to come back and reclaim their lives. And there is murder. There is mystery. Is there romance? There's a relationship in there. But there also is commentary on the beauty industry. Like what people, but especially women and femmes will do, what links they'll go to maintain youthfulness and, you know, to look what we think of match the standard of beauty. Some very interesting things happening there, but also a commentary really on true crime and how people profit off of the suffering of others, from podcasters to people writing books, just random people on the internet, people like somebody writing the book, and then people volunteering to be interviewed and talking about you in this thing, and like how that affects the person who is also a victim. Like her daughter went missing, but she is also a victim of this crime. And so I thought that was really well done, because it's gotten so disgusting. Like even right now, with what's going on with Savannah Guthrie's mother being missing, there are so many people on TikTok in the comments anytime I see anything who are like, this is weird. Oh, why is she like this? Or why are they sitting like this? Or they're not giving the emotions of somebody who doesn't know anything. Or a few weeks ago, when a man's wife went missing, was it in Chicago? And then they found, unfortunately, she took her own life. It appears that they like found her car at this place where you could like walk onto, and she's on video, I think, walking up to over like a bridge thing, like into the water. But so many people from the moment they saw him on camera were like, yeah, we know he did it, and all of these, just like the armchair expert. So I really appreciated that, in like not only being a plot device in the story of like telling what happened to her then, what's going on with this now, and this like story coming back up and these people wanting to do the book, but just like really showing how harmful it is, and how all of these people just think some of them are probably like knowing in the front of their mind that they're not doing this. This is literally just for them, their morbid curiosity and a way to make money, get views. But how some of them really do have this warped sense of, no, I'm really helping. I really care about the truth. And, but also simultaneously a commentary on how cops can be bumbling idiots and fuck stuff up. So I thought it was great. I like the writing. I like the audio narration. I thought the pacing was really cool. I like the twists and turns. I support women's wrongs and their rights. Well, some of them. I don't support all women, because some of you bitches are very dumb. But this is a good time. That's all I'm going to say. So those are my latest reads. Whoop whoop. January was slow, but I'm feeling back into it right now. I'm also reading an arc that I got from NetGalley. It's called The Last something. I'll put it in here, by Nora Roberts. It's a romantic suspense. I'm like 30% into this. I'm mostly enjoying it, except that we do get POV, not full chapters, but we do get POV from the man, because he's basically like stalking this woman, and I'm like, I don't want to be in his head. Actually, I don't want to be here. So I'm gonna continue reading that, but that's all I'm actively reading at the moment. I am looking for another audiobook, but I haven't decided. On to watching. Usual Suspects. Although I haven't watched Fringe in a week, I was watching Married to Medicine yesterday because I just was playing The Sims and had it playing. What a mess. What a mess. They are just always just hooting and hollering and yelling at each other, and it's just so entertaining to me. I took a break from Real Housewives of New York, and I don't know. The newer, am I on season 5? I think I'm on season 5, and I just find it so dull. I haven't completely given up, but I've just paused there. And so that's all I'm really watching in reality TV. I've given up on 90 Day Fiance. I'm just getting updates from TikTok and Reddit, and I've seen enough foolery there. I'm good. And I don't know what else, but the main thing that I watched, I did a watch and review for Patreon. Andrew actually watched it with me, was I watched His and Hers on Netflix, starring John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson. It was adapted from a Alice Feeney novel. Never read the novel, but I watched the show. I think it was 6 episodes. Wow. I had a really good time with that. I was not expecting it, because if you are an actor and you're an asshole in something, I will hold that against you. Sorry, Billy Zane. Although his role in Charmed kind of redeemed him. But John Bernthal, or Bernthal, whatever his name is, the first thing I remember seeing him in was The Walking Dead as Shane, and fuck him, okay? And I don't like him. I still don't. Punchable face. Tessa Thompson, I don't remember the first thing I saw her in either, but I have never liked her. But I think they did do a good job in this show. Is their acting, is it a perfect show? No, I think it's really strong, 7.5. I like the way the story was told and how like every episode you kind of were suspecting a different person. And we had fun going through, like we watched it over several days and being like, at the end of the episode, okay, who do you think did it? And I'm like, no, this seems like this would be too easy if this person did it. And so I liked how that developed. And even down to the last one, I'm like, but if this, so I have a full there's actually 2 videos I did on Patreon about the show, but that was good. We need more limited series. Like everything doesn't need to be multiple. I like watching 6 episodes and being done, getting the story. But I think everyone did a good job, even though John Bernthal is a cop and he's a fucking dumb asshole. And I'm like, oh, well, that's spot on. But he was pissing me off. He was making me so mad in that fucking show. Like there were some things where I'm like, all right, that's just not realistic, okay? That's just not realistic. But whatever. It was a TV show. Had a good time. I do recommend it if you have the Netflix. And that's all I can think of because I have been playing The Sims and then I was listening to audiobooks, so I haven't watched as much in the last week. Lastly, listening. Last time I told you that I was listening to those 2 songs by the artist. The artist has a name and I'm trifling, but anyway, I was just looking up a video and I think she pronounces it Fozia. That's her name. And I then went through the album and now I'm obsessed and I have been listening to the album and I'm going to play a couple songs here, but I'm going to have to edit them out for YouTube. So if you want it for some reason, I mean, you can go listen to yourself, but if you want, I'm going to put the song version on Patreon, obviously, but like, I'm going to play you a couple of my favorite songs from this album. First one, Lost My Mind in Paris. Oh, her voice. I freaking love that song. Okay. Then this is also one of my favorites. Oh, I don't even know. I think that whole song is in French. I don't know. I just know that I feel like I ascend from out of my body. And then hold on. Oh, I'm obsessed. Those are my top 3 faves at the moment, although I just usually start the album at the top and let it cycle through and then let it start over. That's all I've been listening to. And then I was reminded of 2 songs that for some reason I forgot existed. And one is Monster by Paramore that I think was written for a Transformers soundtrack. And I was like, oh my God, I love the song. And also Paramore's cover of My Hero. It's an acoustic cover, which I used to listen to all the time. And I was like, oh my God. And I added it on Apple Music. So those have been in rotation. And then lastly, this song that I heard on TikTok called Genuine American Hero. Again, I'm going to play it for Patreon. Yeah. I have been hearing some really good like folk music kind of stuff from TikTok, and that one came up and I really liked it. And then I heard it again and I saw that it was available on Apple Music and I was like, yeah. So that one has been also a little thing stuck in my head with the Genuine American Hero. It's like catchy, but then also you're like, fuck. Like you're listening to the words. So that's it for me. It's getting dark outside. But that was my media consumption the last week. Looking out the window because all these people come, the road kind of goes up, like our house is kind of at the top. And I get to see all these doggies that people walk. Sorry. I just started thinking about walking Nigel. But yep. Okay, that was it for me. Also, obviously, just to plug that my Iceland trip is sold out. I'm so excited, but you can put yourself on the wait list just in case something happens and someone has to drop out. Then you would get added to the trip. If you put yourself on the wait list, of course, it's linked down below. And then also the Christmas markets for Germany, which I'm in Germany now, which I'm so excited about. So I am excited about the potential of meeting up with anybody early. Anywhere in Europe, or if not, hopping over on a train over to Munich. So it goes Munich, Salzburg, Vienna. Obviously Munich, Germany, Salzburg, Vienna, Austria. Super pumped. I'm not trying to wish away time, but I am looking forward to that trip in December. It'll be a really fun, a way to spend the holidays a different way. So if you want to join that trip, there are spots left. Link down below. This is going to be it for me. So thank you for watching. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreen. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.